You'd have been reporting for the last 2 weeks. These are facts.
Okay, so
these are things that actually
I might have
These
just
people
caught
really
the tail
wrote these
end of this
affidavits.
conference.
These affidavits are really part of the public record. You're concealing them, you're covering them up, and our role here
Rudy
is to
Giuliani
do your job because you don't do it.
present the case, presenting just the opening of the case,
Chanel?
that the massive fraud that's in the voting machines in all the so-called battleground swing state. Actually, it's all over the United States of America, and we believe that, Lord, that you will win this one. And even in California, to overturn all these the boots of the Democrats that have been squashing us and cheat in the voting system. In Jesus' name.
I have no idea where the FBI has been for the last 4 years. Explain to me
Yeah,
how the
they're
FBI
non-existent.
concealed
They
a
are
memo
part of the
in
scheme.
the hand
FBI
of
is part of the
Brennan
corruption.
to Obama, saying that Hillary basically made up the Russian collusion plot. They withheld that for 4 years and cost our country $40 million.
48
and 2
more.
impeachment, one attempted, one actual, and then an acquittal proceeding. I don't know where they've been. I don't know where they were on the hard drive.
The
They got it
FBI's are a bunch of
10 months
cronies.
ago. There are clear crimes revealed on it. Didn't do anything with that. I don't know where they are now.
Okay,
Our
this is
country
in the Q&A session
has had
now.
its ballots
They already presented their
counted,
case,
calculated,
and
and manipulated
if you
in a
have
foreign
not seen
country
it, you ought to be
with a
able
company
to
controlled
get
by
it from
friends of an enemy of the
other
United States.
video
What
loaders.
do we have to do to get the FBI to wake up? Maybe we need a new agency to protect us. I have no idea.
Yeah, just get rid of the FBI bullshit.
Speak for just a minute. In terms of the level of corruption we are looking at here, we have no
Basically, we're
idea how
talking
many
about the
Republican or Democratic candidates
corruption
in any state
in voting
across the country
with the massive
paid
million.
to have the system rigged.
That's
to work
right.
For them.
No more
These people
million.
didn't
No
do
more
this just to
universal
take control.
million.
They make one heck of a lot of money off of it. Think about the global interests behind your own news organizations. Think about the pressure being brought to bear from the social media companies to shut down free speech on any challenge to the election. This is a massive, well-funded, coordinated effort to deprive we the people of the United States of our most fundamental right under the Constitution.
Yeah, that's right. That's like
to
massive
preserve
mailing
this republic
credit cards
that
to
we all
everybody in the
cherish.
country, and then you
It
can
is
charge
of
it,
the
and no
greatest
question asked.
concern.
That's
It is
bullshit. Not on my
it is
back.
the
God damn it. No more goddamn million ballots.
Generation and beyond.
I believe we
Yes.
got to be able to fight back. I really believe that because I've been oppressed in the state of California and just struggling, trying to survive. These Democrats literally
That is true.
are crushing
It is
us.
somehow related to this, but I do not know whether good guys got it or bad guys got it.
Yeah, we need help. We need help. We need help. We need more good guys that can deliver
I can
us.
only hear one
We need
person
help
at a time. I'm gonna take
to
the one with
deliver
the
us
hands raised.
from the oppression of the Democrats in California in particular and all across the country. We will not be intimidated. They try to intimidate me to force me not go to vote on the day of voting. There's just different ways, and I don't know how they get the money to do that. I believe they actually steal from us and then use that money to oppress us. It's very simple. Government confiscation.
Up to 350% in some places.
Where would we get access to that data? And then
Yeah, 300% of the people show up, on the ballots rather than registered. There are 300% of people that voted
Yes, well, the same
in
day
these precincts. That's
registration
what they're
causes
talking about.
problems with the
Then the
vote
registration
signature
and then the
registration
population.
itself. That's a
So
whole
if you have
different
100,000
system
people
that
in one
makes it
town,
impossible really to
and then
validate
they
the signature.
receive
one person could sign
300,000 votes.
the same
That's
name.
300%.
I could sign John Smith. I could sign K. Smith. I
Right.
could sign, on both
Yeah,
things.
because they
and
just
run
get
50
carried away. The
ballots
Democrats
that way. And
are
we've got some
fraudulent. They
evidence
get
of that
carried
being
away.
done
One
as well.
person signed for
Maybe
8,000
we'll speak to the
here
other
in
part.
California. He casted 8,000 votes.
We have now
Here in California, caught.
3 overvote
And I think he might his
analysis is
brother.
done.
I don't know how much
One
money
for
he gets
Pennsylvania, one
received from
for
Governor
Michigan,
Newsom.
and one for Wisconsin. We're in the process. Oh, I'm sorry, Georgia. We're in the process
Well,
of
it's
doing
more.
the
It's
others.
more than these states, but we're
I'll
focusing
check
on
to
because
see
of
if it's,
resources that we have.
appropriate for us to
That's
make it
what
public.
Giuliani is saying.
Well,
I imagine
It's
it is.
across
You
the
can actually do
country.
it.
The source
You can do it
code is
yourself.
a
embedded.
lot of the analysis comes from the real-time data.
They
that
can
came
manipulate,
through
but the
to the news
Dominion
medias
machines are the worst.
the night and following the election. And some entrepreneurs out there have started crunching data themselves, in addition to multiple experts who could easily recognize, with the mathematical brain that I do not have, the beyond explicable deviations to the point of mathematical impossibility that 186,000 votes come in at once, all for Joe Biden. That's like flipping a coin 186,000 times and it lands on heads every time. That does not happen. There is no reasonable explanation for the upshoots, the straight lines up. I'm not even talking about an angle. I'm talking about some massive straight lines up in the vote tallies.
It is so
in the
huge.
middle of the night.
How could they
after
say no
supposedly
evidence? Because
stopped
they're in
counting.
it.
And that's when the Dominion operators went in and injected votes and changed
Did
the
you
whole
hear
system.
that? That's
And
why
it
they have a
affects
simultaneous
votes around the
shutdown
country, around the world, and all kinds of massive
in these states
interests
because
of
Donald
globalist
Trump actually have
dictators,
overwhelming votes
corporations,
that the Dominion
you name
cannot
it.
catch up
Everybody's against
to
us
try to
except
screw with
President
him.
Trump
So they have to
and we
shut the
people of
system
United
down.
States of America.
Meaning their algorithm, it was calculated to override whatever the votes that were coming in for Donald Trump. Did you get that? That algorithm actually cannot catch up because Donald Trump was getting more
We
votes.
already had it.
Ha ha ha
We've
ha
already
ha ha
had
ha.
the electoral breakdown.
You know what that means?
Constitution, as Jenna explains,
Screw you,
has
devil.
provisions in it
Screw
for how
you.
fix
You think
this.
you're a
And there should never
cunning
be another
serpent.
election
Screw you,
conducted in this
devil.
country. I don't care if it's for local dog
Because your
catcher,
cunningness
using a Dominion machine
has ensnared
and
you.
Smartmatic software. We have got to have an American company that uses paper ballots that we can all verify, so every one of us can see.
And voter
that our
ID
vote
law,
is ours.
national voter ID law. They did it when Iraq that became free. They actually went in and everybody had to put in their fingerprints. So why can we not do that?
This is not only about. Remember, this case didn't.
National ID law.
This case
We need
began, and
to
this case can be
overturn
proven the old-fashioned
this
way.
evil
It can be proven based on just good
Democratic
old-fashioned
run states like
democratic tactics that go
California.
back to
Rigged
the
their
Valley
system.
in the 1960s.
Destroyed this
when he held the vote
rigged
back
system
in Chicago
forever.
so that he could elect John F. Kennedy. Or as recently as last year,
Wow.
when they held the vote back in Palm Beach County and Broward County in order to see if they could steal that election for the Senate and governor, and then got caught manufacturing ballots. Democrats have been doing this for years on a small scale. When they passed
Asshole Democrats.
when they passed
Assholes.
the mail-in voter statute,
Yeah.
which all of a sudden
The million is
multiplied by
bullshit.
10 times the number of mail-in
Again, that's
votes,
a mail
they realized
everybody
they could
in the
have this field
country
day.
a credit
They
card
could do
and say it doesn't
precisely
matter if
what Jimmy
whoever
Carter
gets them can use them and charge it. That's
Secretary
fraud.
Bacon warned us about.
No questions asked.
All you
That's
have
fraud.
to do is own an election board.
It's
And
so
you can get away
easy
with
to
it.
understand.
And unlike what
I don't
Cindy
know
is
what
talking
the other guy
where you
says
can
about
have a paper
oppression. That's
trail, a paper
bullshit.
ballot. I tried to point out to you, the minute that you separate the outer envelope from the ballot, you can no longer trace it, which is why the count, whatever the count in Georgia today is, it's totally ridiculous. They're counting the same fraudulent ballots one more time. And we're still very close.
Even though, yeah, they try to interject fake ballots, meaning the bad guys, we're still close because Donald Trump won. Everybody showed up for Donald Trump. You cannot explain the fact that Joe Biden didn't have any damn so-called rallies and 12 people show up. Donald Trump was doing 4 days.
Picture to the smaller picture.
And there was 50,000 people show up, and the Democrats got so jealous that in one place they even eliminated. That was
the voting system, the
Ellison.
greatest democracy on earth.
That tried to eliminate to
The people who
250
did this
people, and everybody was waiting
have committed
outside
one
for
of the
Donald
worst
Trump.
crimes
It's
that
not about
I've
idolatry.
ever seen
Donald
or
Trump
observed.
is
One
one
of
of
the
us.
things that I'm
He's
most
the only one
proud
that's
of in
an
this country
outsider.
is
We
that
cannot
we've got
have
such a
all these
long-standing
elites
democracy
running
based on the right
around
to vote. They have trashed the right to vote. They've
telling
dishonored
us
the
what
right
to do,
vote.
that
They've
we ought to
destroyed the right
give
to
our
vote
money
in
to
their
the
greed for
government
power
and
and
for
money.
them to redistribute
There's
it
no
to
doubt
whoever
about
they
it.
want, to themselves
This was
and then
not
to
an
the
individual
illegals,
idea
basically.
of 10 or
And
12
register them
Democrat
to vote.
bosses.
It's ridiculous.
This is a plan. You would have to be a fool not to realize that. They do the same thing in exactly the same way in 10 big Democrat-controlled, in most cases, crooked city. And when I say crooked city, go look at how many of their officials have gone to jail in the last 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years that they have dominated and destroyed those cities. They picked the places where they could get away with it. They picked the places where, whether or not Republicans testified to something, judges would just dismiss it because judges are appointed politically. And too many of them are hacks. They picked places where they could get a sheriff that refused to enforce a court order.
I know.
When we got a court order that we could be 10 feet closer,
right. I remember this
were
one.
told, if you try to do it, I'll arrest you.
Of a national conspiracy suggesting
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's not a conspiracy. It's happened to Giuliani.
Part one, it began as a national conspiracy. Clearly.
It did
That
start.
evidence emerged very, very quickly.
Right, because they figured they got to find a way
That was
to
the same thing in
beat
10
Donald
states.
Trump. Because that Joe Biden,
Just
they
using
know.
logic.
They know. They're not
I
stupid.
said this can't be an
This
accident.
guy's a
And then
senile
what I was surprised about
moron.
was the dimension of it.
They know there's no way Joe could have won. I mean,
Not
even the
inspecting almost
stupidest
700,000
Democrats
ballots is astounding.
understand that.
It is suggesting that Joe Biden was part of that conspiracy. I just
They were even shocked that
Honestly,
he
I
was
don't know
able
what Joe
to
Biden is aware of.
win a
or not aware
vote.
of.
Nobody should
And I mean
vote for
that
him. Just
as a lawyer,
barely on
not
the
trying
fact
to be-
that he doesn't know what
not
he's
trying to be
doing.
Cute.
I mean, he doesn't even know where he's at, really. Not he's doing.
I honestly don't know how much he's aware. I don't know how much he decides and how much things
Oh,
are
he's
decided
aware
for
of
him.
it. Yeah, he's aware of it. Joe Biden's aware of this big cheat because he said it.
Your question is fundamentally flawed when you're asking where's the evidence. You clearly don't understand the legal process. What we have asked for in the court is to not have the certification of false results.
Right.
And so to say, hold on a minute, we have evidence that we will present to the court. We haven't had the opportunity
I like
yet
this
to
lady,
present
and
that
she's
to
very
the court.
easy
We're
on the
giving
eye.
you an overview and a preview of what we've discovered, but no court yet has had we've had that opportunity. So when we have we have fraud allegations pending. So what we've asked for are temporary restraining orders or injunctions to not certify false results. We're very happy that Michigan, the reason we dismissed that lawsuit today is because the Michigan county in Wayne County, they're not going to certify that because 71% of counties have inconsistent data. No person in this room or in this country should want states to rush through and coronate a president with false results. We have to make sure that the results are accurate. That's what we will prove.
Two more questions.
The Secretary of State says that can actually happen.
Okay, so Q&A. I'm gonna stop here, but you get it. Because for
Secretary said
days,
where?
that all you hear is, oh, president-elect this, president-elect that. I said, bullshit. I don't even watch Fox
Follow the
anymore.
political part.
But
you're
anyhow,
actually
I guess
seriously
they're
gonna,
obligated to
want me to take
transmit the
seriously
live
the
conference
Secretary of State
to
of Michigan?
appear to be
When
impartial.
Michigan, when the Secretary of State
Well,
of
Fox
Michigan
have
ever
to get
bothered
rid of
find
the
out that
young
votes in her
Murdochs
state
because
were
they
being
are so
being
left-leaning.
counted in Germany by a Venezuelan company, and you want me to take her seriously or him seriously?
Now
I mean,
votes are
I was in
counted. Did you
government.
hear that? Dominion. Transmit it.
If I were the governor
Everything
of that
that's
state, I'd
scanned
fire
into it.
everybody
Like
who
this
was
year,
involved in this
my
election.
vote's scanned
They didn't come and tell me
and go through
that
Germany,
my state was gonna be
Barcelona,
embarrassed, made a fool of
in the
because
server,
I'm sending my votes of people in Michigan over to
sold,
Germany to be counted
sold
a
by
company
Dominion,
that is owned
who
by
are
people who
invented
are
by
allies
the
of Maduro
Venezuelans,
and Chavez.
Maduro,
By the way,
Chavez,
Carolyn
backed
Maloney, who wrote that,
Smartmatic.
was my
Did you
congresswoman.
hear that? I mean, it's very
Democrat pointed
simple
that out.
logic.
They
You
didn't
have
do
the
the
fox
darndest
in the
bit
hen
of-
house.
of due
George
diligence.
Soros. And this
If
is
you
not
bought a
made up.
$2 million company, you would have done more due diligence of that.
Run that smart.
Maybe they're incompetent,
Smartmatic.
or maybe they didn't want to know. But you're not going to have me take seriously anything.
I'm not
that
going to
comes
have my
involved
vote
in the election
transmitted
that
over
was
the
conducted in
internet.
Michigan.
I don't know what they do with it. They just said it. They can grab a whole batch and, like from Trump, and then give it
The
to another guy.
Secretary of
Just
State can
whatever
say
they want to
she
do.
wants to say. Of course she's going to say that. She's a Democrat. She could also credit the affidavits of the two people and say that the board is tied and therefore the vote hasn't been certified. So because she's a Democrat, she's saying that. Do you think she has any credibility, having run the kind of election they ran in Michigan?
Wayne County.
You think
He's
anyone
in
in that
County,
government has
Michigan.
credibility after using a machine
No.
and fooling their citizens?
Yeah,
Take
for
the person in
ages.
Michigan
Fooling the
who thought their vote
citizens.
was
Don't
being sent
freaking
outside
fool
the
me.
United States
Why do you
so
think
somebody
that they
could
want
play
to
with it.
clamp down on this so-called fake
it's
coronavirus
disgraceful
even
what
worse
the
now
government
in
of Michigan did
California?
to its citizens.
Because we are mad.
Mr. Mayor.
Last question.
Mr. Mayor.
They literally taken our votes and turned it over to the bad guys. We are mad as hell. No more bullshit from the Democrats.
We're not. We are limited in what we can do.
Okay,
we're not the
I'm
FBI.
just really.
We're not the government. We don't have.
I hate
that
to
kind
use
of
the term
subpoena power.
boils, but really.
We don't have the power to just go
We
subpoena
have been
anything we
oppressed
want.
so long.
The government does.
So long.
We
Here in
would have to
California, year after
subpoena
year,
in
they
line with
add
a
more taxes.
Case. Our first case, we're asking
So they
for
can
that
open the border for the illegals
authority
to
in
what?
Pennsylvania and in Michigan.
Redistribute our will so
But
they
you have to
can
get
get the
that authority
votes.
from the court. We're
Even
private
though the
citizens, not the
illegals
government.
don't vote, they'll
If I
collect their
were the
ballots.
government,
Does that make sense?
like I
They
used to
register
be,
them automatically
there'd
as soon
probably
as
be a
they
lot of
cross the
people arrested by
border.
now.
They say, hey, sign up here to vote.
There's plenty of
No,
probable cause.
I'm not joking
Plenty of
because they're
probable
bold.
cause.
Thank you, everybody.
And then they say, can we turn in your ballots? Sure. Why not? Because you're paying me welfare and paying for my health care. So I have no say. That's silencing the citizens in order to give it to the aliens so they can have control. It's all about damn control, the Democrats. Okay, we're tired of that shit. We cannot deal with that shit no more. So Democrats, fuck off. Gavin Newsom,
my goodness.
you are
Well,
coming
first of all-
down.
First of all,
We have to
our
have a
cases haven't
national
been
ID law.
dismissed. We only have.
Over 20.
National voter ID, national voter ID, national voter ID, fingerprints.
Ma'am,
Okay,
you
this,
are lying.
yeah.
You're
This stupid
lying.
CNN.
You're lying.
CNN is lying.
Don't continue to lie. I'm
Lord.
not,
I can't believe that. How could people are so evil, so bent
ma'am,
with fraud?
Okay. Let me
They have lost their common sense. Because they are so possessed with the devil, with the hatred of Donald Trump, with hatred of God. They want to take very easy God. That's why they want God out of our
You're a
country.
totally discourteous person. I'm going to finish my answer. So.
Okay.
I'm
Stop
gonna finish my
interrupting,
answer. The fact is
Giuliani.
We have very, very
I know.
few lawsuits.
I'm
The
just
lawsuits
like,
you're
'cause
talking about
it's
have
my
been brought by
space, so I
private
can talk over
individuals
him.
and groups. Most of them were dismissed for lack of standing. Probably correctly, because they were brought before the election took place. The election is now over. The only lawsuit we have withdrawn is the one where we got the relief that we wanted, and that's the one in